Hello, and welcome back, everyone. Today is a very personal episode, and honestly, one of the most important conversation we have had on this podcast. My co-host, Annick Maria, is going to share something from her own life that it took years to be able to talk about openly. This is Unfiltered and Raw, the podcast where we drop the masks, get real, and talk about things that matter. No filters, no shame, just honest conversations. Annie, thank
Yes.
you for your courage.
Mm.
For those of you new here, you may not know Annick's full story. Some of our regular listeners already know about her years of addiction. We have talked about that in early episodes. But today we go into a chapter that comes right after that. Annick, do you want to set the scene?
I want to, but unlikely to what you said, I'm gonna go a little bit before because I think it's very important to mention when you have a drug problem, pregnancy can occur, let's say, when you don't know. When you are high, half of the time you don't know what you're doing, you don't know with who you land in bed, and such things can happen. So I mean by
Mhm.
that pregnancies are more likely, I think, with drug users or abusers. Um, so that's that. Um, and yes, I have had a time, 3 years of heavy drug abuse, where in the last months I was really mentally, physically, spiritually almost like a zombie. I was, I think, 48 kilograms, so that means skin over bones. And at one point, I said, "Mom, please drive me to rehab because it's enough for me. I cannot go on like that anymore." And of course, my mother, seeing me decline like that, she was happy in that moment. And she did drive me to rehab. So that was that. I arrived in rehab, and what happens in rehab? You have to take blood samples. That's normal. They check your blood when you get in to see all that's in there, what you are addicted on and so forth. But in the beginning, they do that regularly to see if you don't relapse because people lie. Have you taken something? No. Okay, let's see the blood test. That's why.
Right, so to check if, while in rehab you were sneaking out and taking stuff.
Yes, and I understand that. At that time, I thought it was extremely annoying because I was afraid of needles. I didn't like it at all, but it had to be done. And so I got used to it. Couple of weeks of taking the blood samples and okay. And one day the doctor called me in, and I was like, "Ooh, strange. Normally there is something when the doctor calls you in." I thought, I didn't relapse. I didn't take something. What's happening? So I went there and sit down. Okay, I sat down, and it was very serious. And he said, "Listen, you're pregnant." And I was like, "What?"
Show dropping.
Yeah, it was
How old were you?
21.
Okay, very
And
young.
I did want children, don't get me wrong. I wanted to be a mom. But I think at that time I was not ready at that particular time. Certainly when you come out of the drug thing and you have to clean your body, I was not clean at all. And I was sleeping with people who were also not clean at all. So there was a double, double no no.
Clash.
Yes. And so that was, oh no, 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 no. And the doctor said, "Listen, think about it, what you are going to do with it, because I had the choice. He didn't push me to do anything or to make any decision. He said, listen, think about it, but there is a time frame. You don't have forever to think. He told me, think about it for a few weeks and then we must do something if
You
you
had to make a
decide.
decision.
Yes. So it was, yeah, it were a couple of weeks talking to my mom, talking to my dad, not so much to my dad, but to my mom, because it's a woman also, talking to my auntie, to, yeah, to who I could, talking to the people who worked there. It was back and forward, yes, no, keep it, don't keep it. And it was, when your body is just, uh, how do you call
Stressed.
it? Withdrawing from everything. It is a
Oh,
very
okay, yeah.
hard decision to make. Although I was very determined not to take drugs, so I was really going for it. I said, come on, the withdrawal, you know, I was determined to get off of it. But you have the withdrawals, with determination or not, you feel it. And then
Yeah.
with such a decision on top of it, it makes it more hard. So that was my
But the
experience.
decision to have an abortion, what was the catalyst? Why? It was because the medical consequences, or because the pregnancy, the way that happened.
Oh, yes, it's soft. So I'm gonna picture you. No, how do you say that? I'm gonna make the picture so you understand of how this happened. I had a time where I was alone and I was sleeping with random guys just in the
Okay.
nightclubs, outside in the car. Because when you take certain substances, you are really into it without thinking. That happened not so much, but it did happen, right?
Yeah.
And I was very lucky that at that time that I didn't have one or another disease because it can happen also. Okay.
Yeah.
But just before the pregnancy, I had a boyfriend, and it was a very handsome guy. I don't know if you know that advertisement. There is a certain advertisement for a perfume, and there's like this Italian guy coming out of a boat. I think it is Cool Water. David of Cool Water, and this guy, a very handsome guy with a short black hair, he comes out of the boat with his white speedos, muscular and really handsome. So it was my type of guy, right? And
Wow.
yeah, it was a guy. He was not. Yeah, he was like that. A little bit. He resembled him very much. The features, and
Good
he had
looking, handsome guy.
very handsome, like
Yeah.
whoa, straight from from the magazines. And I always wanted the nice guys. I didn't look at character. I looked only at the facade, and that was it for me. So I was really into him, and he was also into me. We started talking in the club, and after a couple of times in the bed, okay, we had a relationship. So I went with him to his home, this, that. But the relationship got a little bit out of control because he was dominating. And I got scared of him, right? So I was in fear to leave. So I stayed with him and for example, what he did was like when we went out, he said, "You're not going to wear a skirt today." And I said, "Why not?" I said, "That's the only thing I have in my little suitcase for this weekend." And then he would beat the crap out of me or give me how do you call it, stamping with the foot on my legs, stamping me till my legs were blue, and then it was too ugly to wear a skirt. And then he said, "You know what, wear my jeans," because we had the same size. I was that skinny that time. I had the same size as him, and so I had to wear the jeans and things like that. I was aware that it was not good for me, but I was afraid. And then when he was on something, he took speed. Most of the time he was very strong and very aggressive. Huh. maybe I was strong too, but I don't know because I took the same substance. But I was very afraid and I was paranoid. Oh my god. So, what happened one day? My mind wanted to leave, but I couldn't. We came home from a night in the club, completely drowsy and everything from the drugs. We slept only a couple of hours because on speed you sleep little or
You
not,
don't sleep.
but we slept.
Yeah.
And I woke up out of my high, and he was on top of me. And it was very hot that day, little bit like now. And I was like, oh no, get off of me, because he just was doing his thing while I didn't consent. I was sleeping, so okay, and he
Oh
was
my
doing,
God.
and I wanted to, push him, but I wasn't physically able to push him. He was in full mode, and I started screaming. I thought I'm gonna scream. Maybe somebody hears. Yeah, it was maybe not the best thing to do, but I did it like almost instantly. And he thought like no. And what he did, there was a candy bar laying on the little counter, open from the day before, like a Mars or Snickers, something like that. He took the candy bar and shoved it in my mouth. It didn't kill me, but in that moment I was like gasping for air and I was not able to fight myself off. So he did his thing for a few minutes, and then
Oh
okay,
my
bye bye,
Lord.
and he went to the next room, and he left me there, and I was very angry. At that moment I wasn't sad, I was very angry that this man forced himself onto me with, with no consent. But again, I was afraid at the same time. You see, it is a complete toxic
Yeah, it's
situation.
very delicate situation. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it
So
happened. So
that's when you got pregnant, basically.
yeah, with him. And
Okay.
then the doctor said also, so I went to the doctor every week, a little bit to on the situation, what I was thinking, how I was thinking, why I was thinking what I was thinking. It's very, you don't see it on a woman, but it is very, yeah, it consumes your mind because you are pregnant. For me, that was sacred, being pregnant, because I wanted at some point to be a mom. But anyway, it was there, it was from him, it was a rape, and I had to deal with it. I couldn't, with the magic wand, make it go
Yeah.
away. So
Yeah.
that was difficult. Um, and so the
So
doctor said
you
one
go
day,
to rehab. So
mm,
from that, then you go to rehab, and you had this blood test, and then the blood test revealed that you were pregnant.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then after, so a couple of times with the doctor, he said, listen, Annick, I don't want to um, push you in a certain decision, but I have to tell you, if you decide to carry the baby, it is going to be extremely disabled, because out of the blood samples it was in the beginning when you entered rehab, you were certainly not clean. This boy also not clean, so the baby was going to have huge problems. And then I started thinking, oh no, uh,
Yeah, that's the
having a
dilemma, the mental dilemma.
yes, having a carrying a disabled child. How am I going to support this baby? I wasn't able to support myself. I was a complete,
Yeah.
yeah, out of control my life.
Too
So
young.
I talked to my parents once more, and they said, yeah, maybe it's a good thing that not to carry it. And then in the end, as the time went on, I decided, okay, I'm not gonna carry this baby, because I was devastated by it, and I was extremely angry. And I think anger reflects on your unborn child. Now I know. Then I didn't know, but now I know. And yeah, I took the decision to, okay, let's see whenever it can be done. It was mentally tough. Yeah,
I bet. I bet it was not an easy decision because,
no.
of course, you are conflicted
Mm,
with the possibility of having a child,
yes.
and then at the same time to have a very disabled child, being so young, and say, how am I going to support him? Why do we say him?
Yes, because I knew it. It was a boy. I knew.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So how did the procedure went? What was next things to do? Were you in the clinic when, or you had
I
to go
want to.
outside the clinic?
I forgot one thing, Liliana, very important, because I did a little bit of research, right, after all these years. In those years, I did nothing. You are, as a woman, you are shocked enough, and you have to digest all of this. You don't do so much things. So I didn't dive in all to these things, but now I did. And research over the years, statistics show that 50% of rape ends up in abortion. 50%, that's a lot. I can't say for the other woman, is it rage or is it why? That I can't say, but 50% is a lot of rape cases end up in abortion. It's a national study.
I wouldn't know how to even have a discussion about, you know, being raped, or, I mean, it's very tough.
Yes.
That has to be so difficult. And I'm quite surprised. I mean, 50% is, to me, is quite low. So, I mean, I said,
Yeah, but
I
is it?
don't know.
It's only statistics. There is behind the statistics probably higher the number. They can't interview every woman on the planet. And how much women do you think are so in guilt and in shame they don't talk about it?
Yeah.
So I think the number is much higher. This is only the statistics, the lowest number in my opinion.
Because, I mean, how anyone can, I don't know, psychologically can deal with, I don't know, unless you're very strong and saying, okay, forget about the rape, but let's go on with life with a child.
Yes.
Tough, tough.
For me it was it was, I could not, I knew also if I carried that child I had to see this man every week, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny the father to a child, because I know what it is to have a mentally absent father, let along a father that is not there. I don't want to take the father from a child, as evil or as bad as he might seem or is. That's not a thing I wanted to do. So I was imagining seeing this man every week, and that was something I could not bear. No, I was not prepared for this at all. So that's everything together why I made the decision.
Wow. Yeah. And, I mean, any decision is the right decision for that moment. Then, of
Yes.
course, after that, we can analyze, you can go back, you can discuss, I could have done this, I could have done that. But at the moment, that was the decision, and I think that was the right decisions. Anyway, so, and how that happened. So you said you were conflicted, do this abortion or don't do the abortion. You asked your family, and then eventually you decided, and they scheduled you for this abortion. And when did that happen?
Yes, so I didn't knew any particular day. So when I decided to go on with it, the doctor said, "Okay, we'll schedule it, no problem, and it will be done." And I didn't know any particular day. So they said to me, "Okay, it's scheduled, no problem," and I said, "Okay." I was like a little bit, I was not happy, but a little bit relieved that what was going to happen. And I had already spoken to a girlfriend who had the procedure. She said, "Listen, to her it was painful." She told me about the injections. "They inject your pussy," she said. I was like, oh my god. I was a little bit anxious. she told me in her way, but that was her lens. I think everyone experiences it maybe differently.
Different.
So I was only with that only girl who could tell me what she had experienced, and
Yeah.
okay, I wasn't really ready, but that was the only way. So uh, let's say 1 week before, the doctor said, okay, Annick, your moment is the 4th of May. And I was like, what? And he said, yes, it's the only date available, otherwise it's too late. We can reschedule, but then it's too late. The heart is formed, and that was something I couldn't know. That was a no-no. So the 4th of May is my birthday. So that was,
Wow.
yes, that was,
Okay.
that was,
Another dilemma. I mean, that of course added to the injury.
yeah. So a day you should be celebrating your life. You have to end another's life, and that was really twisted in the beginning,
And
really twisted.
I think, of course,
Yeah,
that yes, as we said, that has added to the injury because instead of celebrating a birthday, you end another life. Oh my dear. Oh God. Very, very tough. And
yeah.
so
It
who
was
was with,
heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking.
were you by yourself? Did you have a friend with you?
No, someone from the rehab went with me. So not a doctor, but another person that works there. They are kind of I'm gonna call them coaches. I don't know the work. The is it the social worker? I don't know. I knew I spoke to that person every week. So the person came with me. It was not even like a clinic. It was a normal building, not like a huge clinic where every operation is done. So okay, we went inside, and it was it was not exactly like my girlfriend had told me. And I think now, in my
Okay.
opinion, that they do it in different methods, because she was drugged before her procedure, so they gave her like a blue pill and she was numb, she said. I wasn't drugged before the procedure. I had to go
Okay.
and lay on a kind of a table where you give birth with your legs open, and the doctor sits in front of you to take the baby out. That was that kind of a table. And there was this doctor with little machine. But what do they do? Because they know you are anxious, and they know people working there, they know it is very disturbing, so they try to distract you. And I was laying down, there was this doctor, and there behind me were 3 people talking to me. So the one from my rehab, and then 2 others. And they were asking me questions, and where do you live, and what is your hobby, and where do you go out, and what do you like to, like
Yeah, yeah.
girly questions.
Took you out of the situation.
Yes, they try you not to fix there, to have
Yeah.
less pain, I understand, but also to, yeah,
To take you a bit,
yeah,
away from what's happening. Well, I
yes,
mean, it's a good thing because I mean, as a experience, and especially the first time.
yes,
So, if you've been there or you had somebody with a clear
yes.
experience, so they could have talked you through. But oh
Mm.
my God, well, this is certainly not easy. So, how long did it last, this procedure?
Oh, time wise, I really don't know. Not even 1 hour, I think. But now,
Okay.
seeing it now, I am glad those people were there, those 3 people. Because imagine having no one and sitting there all alone with your thoughts and your anxiety and your grief and your guilt and everything. Oh, that must be awful. So I don't know with other girls or women how it works. Can be different, but
Hmm.
for me it was like that, and I'm happy the way this day went on. Although it was not good in one way because it was on the 4th of May. I am grateful on the other side that it happened in that way. And I didn't have too much pain. It was like, how do you call it? Like a scratching pain inside. And I think I watched, for a moment, I watched a little bit, you know, because you can distract me, but not the 100%. So I peeped, and it was like a little kind of a vacuum thing that yeah, a little vacuum kind of a little machine.
So, yeah. So you had the procedure, you done for the day, and then what happened after that?
Oh,
You
they
were
took,
still in rehab. You went back to rehab.
I went back to rehab, yes, and I tried to continue as if nothing happened. You know,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah,
now
yeah, to
that
put pills.
what yeah, you know that what you're afraid of, like, oh, I have to see this father every week, and it's not going to happen now. That you know, so that part is relief. And okay, you don't have the pregnancy, you don't have the pain of a birth. Also, all that things that I was kind of afraid of are not there anymore. And then time went on. I got clean after 3 months. And I'm still clean, by the way. 39 years. I never touched anything again, hard drugs, because I knew it's not for me. So that was an extremely good thing for me.
Very good indeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, time went on. And I remember the first 5 years I had. It was very okay for me. Every year, around the same time, a letter came. It's the clinic, to Annick, da da da, and with the same questions. How are you feeling? How is your psyche going? Do you have any kind of shame or guilt? You know, they ask you those questions, and for me it was totally okay. I wasn't even thinking about it for 5, 6 years. I was like, oh, I'm rid of it, it's okay, it's good, I'm over it. I thought. And I filled in, I was kind of happy, and the letter went there, okay. And then after 5, 6 years, I was not in the drug world anymore, so I had kind of other kind of friends who were not intoxicated, and they were starting to have kids. So one got pregnant, and then the other got pregnant, and the birth, and you go there to celebrate the baby is born, choop choop choop, 2, 3, 5, and then it started coming up. I thought it was gone, but it was not. It was on the surface, waiting to come up.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking, because I love children. And I took the babies, I cuddled the babies, and I was like, you play, because I like to do that. I like children. And then I started to think, oh my God, if he was born, he would have played with the other kids, and this and that. So you see, all those things came up, and I started to. That's where it began. The mental duality again, and that was that took years to swallow and digest. Yes. So basically, at one point, and there were also television shows with that kind of stuff. For a moment, I don't know what or how that I got triggered, but I almost felt like a murderer at a certain point in time. And I was like, oh fuck. So I had tremendous shame, tremendous guilt. I was angry. All the sorts of things started to come up, and yeah, I had to deal with that. I had to face that, and that was not an easy thing. And I don't know
How
how
did
this.
you? Yeah. How did you address all this anger? I mean, all this guilt.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, how did I do that? Now you ask me something. I read books, I journaled, I tried stuff. First, it was only talking, because I went to the psychiatrist or a doctor or a social worker and talking. Venting
Yeah.
already is something in itself to talk
Hmm.
about. And then,
And of course, I mean, did you feel by talking and letting this experience out give you some kind of relief?
I think that every form of releasing, whether it be talking, whether it's writing, whether it's even going to take a walk in the park and thinking things, thoughts are also power. I think it's all helping. And
Yeah,
for me, the more things I did, the better it got. I think that
that's
keeping silence is the worst thing you can do for yourself. The worst. Yeah.
wow. So, in the meantime, what were you doing? I mean, once you finished your rehab, um, did you have the chance? I mean, did you go back to school? Did you um,
Yes. So when
get a
I
job?
no a job, no. So I remember my coach there saying, "You are very intelligent, Annick. You should do something with it," and that stuck with me all the time. And then I thought, well, I'm going to I'm going to do something that I like, right? And I looked up schools and universities and this and that, and I went to school. I went to be an arts teacher because I like to communicate with people. I like young people because you can teach them something, and I like painting and drawing. Like you can see, this is one of my paintings. I just like it's inside of me. Or from very young, I was painting and drawing stuff, and I thought, well, that's something for me. I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna be a teacher, and that's what I did for 3 years. Yeah, I went full time to school. I had, like they said, how do they call it when you go to the other city, where is the university, and you have your room for rent there. You stay there in the room, you go to school, and then in the weekend you come home. Yeah,
Boarding
I did the
school.
boarding there, right? And that's for 3 years what I did, and I ended up having my what is it? It is PhD. I don't know how you call it. This paper,
The
what you
degree after
succeed.
university, degree, or the
A
teaching
degree, yes,
qualification.
a degree or a qualification with high honors because I was very driven and I liked it so much. I draw well, I painted well, and I liked history and all those things. I really went full on. I'm a Taurus, you know, and
Wow.
Taurus in the zodiac, when Taurus sees the red stuff, vroom, and that's what I did
Yes.
with the school. I went all in. I went for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. So that kept you kind of sane with all
Yes.
your past.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that shows that is also a kind of a healing tool. Doing something you love and is really with your heart, and you can
Passion.
focus on that, and you can heal yourself a little bit. There is many healing modalities. So that was
So
kind.
let's talk about your journey, your healing journey. Apart from your painting, did you try writing? Did you, I mean, what else did you do?
Oh,
First of all, let me ask you, okay, you said, because if I think about my healing, I wouldn't even know where to start, but what helped me is the reading a lot.
reading,
So I
yes.
started reading books like Wayne Dyer books. He was a
Yes.
psychologist
Oh, it's
and was
amazing.
brilliant. I
I
mean,
read
he
them
really,
too.
oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, how was your journey? How, how and when did you understand that, we can heal, and what kind of trajectory, road, path to take?
So I wasn't really when this first happened, and those first 5 years, like I told, I wasn't into any healing at all. I did the school, but it was not on my mind that it worked healing wise. I just picked something I loved, maybe to distract myself, I don't know, but it worked as a healing tool. But I was not at all, like, let's say, spiritually awakened or searching for healing at that time. No, I just did what my heart told me to do. Do something you love and we'll see. So that was, yeah, the first healing I did without even knowing. But looking at it now, it helped me. I know it helped me. But then I didn't want to do that work. So I didn't want to go and be a teacher, because for me that was kind of, I felt like I was put into a mold, because in my time you could not do your hair in a certain way, you could not wear those or those clothes, and it was like, oh no. I was already in that time a little bit, I wore special clothes, I had my own style, and I couldn't be myself, so that was a no-no. So I had the degree, I had the gold in my hand, but it was no. And then afterwards I started working in little boutiques and clothing shops. It was not at all what I wanted, but anyway, you have to do something. And then it's after that the thinking started. And as a healing modality, I started to be a little bit spiritual then also. I started to read then only, because in the time of the university I read the books I had to study, yes, but reading separately from them, that was not something on my mind at all. So then I started reading one book, small things, and another one, and I got some, it did something with me. It shifted certain things, a little way of thinking, or a little habit, or a little ritual. It is small things, but over the years it adds up when you keep on doing it. And with this man. So I met this man, and at that point I was already into a good amount of the spiritual. I met this man, which was the only relationship in my entire life, who lasted 6 years. For me, that's like, whoa, because all the other ones were like 1 year, a half of a year, 1 year and a half, and that was it. So I met this man, and he had 2 kids. One small autistic boy, 6 years, the other one 16. And I fell in love with the little boy immediately. There was like a heart connection. And I felt so good in this relationship that I was able to work, and I found work. I find work with disabled children. You see how it works? My child was going to be disabled, and now I'm working with those kids. And that was fantastic. That love from that little girl I worked with. She couldn't walk, she couldn't eat, she couldn't say anything. She was extremely disabled, but so loving, so pure, so unconditionally loving, and I loved working for her. And I saw in that time, so it was like meeting my own inner child, because from her side came nothing. I had to give everything, but it was so pure that I poured into her, like I gave everything again, because I so loved it. So I made puppets for her, we did the puppet show, I provided her with everything I thought she needed, and she loved it. She couldn't speak, but I saw it in her eyes. She made those big dice when she loved it, and that was all I needed. That for me was confirmation. And it was like this exchange of energy. I was in love with that job. But I think it's after 3 years, she had a place in like a huge institution, because she was getting 23, and that is not anymore for the children. So I lost my job in that time. I didn't lose the connection with the parents, because if I phone them, I can still have their connection, but I lost the job, so the interaction, and that was really lovely working there. Yeah, that was healing also. Meeting her,
Yeah.
meeting my own inner child, doing all these things. Yeah, that was healing on itself.
I mean, because disabled children I see in school, they have their own world, and at the first it's not easy to connect with them, but once they understand you and you understand them, there is a very strong connection. I
Yes,
do have
but
an autistic young man right now. It's very hard to deal with him. He's 16, and but it's more at that level there is an exchange of energy. It's so subtle,
yes,
and you understand each other.
yes,
When he
on the,
see me, his lights goes, his eyes goes
yes,
like just
on
light
the
up
soul
because
level and the energy level, it you feel it's on the same level. That's why you click, and that's the beauty of it.
yeah,
But it's not for
exactly.
everyone, because those 3 years that I worked there, so my partner knew, and he always said, "Oh my God, I could never do that work. This is not for me. I don't know how you do it, but for me it wasn't work. It was heaven on earth. I liked it so much." And wait, there's another thing.
No, exactly. If you see that as a sorry, as a job, it's not nobody ideal's job. For those kind of work, you have to be empathic,
Yes.
and that shows just with your presence. You don't have to talk. You don't have to.
No.
There's nothing special you have to do.
No.
It's just you, your energy,
They
your
feel it.
empathy.
She was so
Yeah,
happy when I bought her, like, for example, the a body lotion, and I said, "Today is Princess Day. We're gonna do the," and she knew already. Then I massaged her because she was in a special little wheelchair, and her limbs were stiff because she couldn't move that much, and every day the kine had to come to, to move her because she wasn't able to
yeah.
move on her own. But when I did the massage very softly with the body lotion, she smelled like roses, and I saw the eyes, and this big smile on her face. It was worth everything. Only for the smile and the glitter in her eyes, you would do everything. But then,
Yeah.
as I worked there for those years, I saw it puts strain on the parents, because, I work for 8 hours or 6 hours, and I go home and I do my job at home. But the parents, they never have off. It's constantly, um, what do you, not draining,
24/7.
it is exhausting, mentally
It
exhausting,
is.
the care
Yeah.
for a disabled child. But they love that, they
Yeah.
adore their daughter, but it's, yeah, you have to pour into it constantly. You never have a day off, ever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, when I went back in my experience, I think the universe gave me this experience to show what it would or could have been having him. And I'm very, very,
I
very
think
grateful I was able to work for that little girl. Very grateful to this day. Yeah.
nice.
That was also
See, all,
healing. Very healing.
yeah, yeah. It's another level of understanding. I
Yes.
mean, you understand things most time when you experience yourself
That's true.
firsthand.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then, after I worked with a little girl, time went on, and the more into spirituality I got, the more tools I noticed or I felt I could do in time to every time to peel off a layer of the onion, to peel off a little layer of the trauma, because it's not a little onion, it's a motherfucker like that, right? You have to peel a lot. And at a certain point of time, I met this lady, I don't remember, and she said, yes, I do remember now. It was the Indian lady. At a certain point of time, I met this Indian healer, and I did already some father wound healing with her to be able to cope with the mechanism of not having a emotionally available father. It worked.
Father.
Then we did mother wound healing. That was not that big of a wound because I have a very good connection to my mother, but there was a little residue, okay. And then we went to the inner child healing. We did, and I told her about the abortion. And then she said, listen, Annick, you can do a forgiveness ritual. It's very powerful. You can do it all alone. You don't have to go to a pastor or some kind of a person. You can do it with a candle, with a piece of paper, with your pen, a little, how do you call that? Iron, not iron, something you can burn something in. A little jar of aluminum when you can burn something and leave it there. So those were
Yeah.
the tools I needed. And I said, okay. She said, listen, you are going to close your eyes, and the name of your unborn child, you have to imagine the name and see him for you as a little baby, and you talk to the baby. And you think of the baby, and what you are thinking, then you write it. So you say the name, you say, I'm your mother, I love you, such and such. Forgive me, I had to take such and such decision at that time, that's why. But you know that I love you, I miss you, I see you, I hear you, and so on. Pour out everything. Cry if you want to, it doesn't matter. Let it, release it. That's very important. And then
Yeah.
you write it with your thoughts. You write it, and you roll it into a little roll, and you burn it into ashes. It has to be completely burned, and then you put it into the sink, and you drain the ashes, and you stay with your mind with him or her, and the message arrives because you are doing that with your soul. So it is energy from soul to soul. Of course, the little baby is not physically there, but that doesn't matter. You can do that. You can do that with all persons. You can do that with your father that is up in heaven, your mother, your niece, whoever is past that you don't have closure with. You can do that with every person. Write them a letter about everything that happened, because some people are saying, "Oh shit." My brother or this friend, they passed, and I had argument and I couldn't close it. What do I do? Well, it's the same kind of ritual you can do, because if it
Yeah.
comes from your soul to their soul, it will arrive there, and you will have closure. You will feel something, not by magic, but you will feel something shift over time, and it is very releasing. It is much better than to hold it into your body. Very
Oh
much.
yes. Did you notice any difference after you done that? The ritual?
Yes, I felt. Yes, I feel I have this connection with him
So
somewhere
you release,
somehow.
you feel there was a release. There was an
Yes,
understanding, and kind of you felt the other soul understood what happened and saying, okay, we're forgiven now.
you know when they talk about cord cutting, when somebody has bad cords with someone, you can cut them. In my
Yeah.
mind, those are black cords, cords that are tied to negativity, and we all have those. And some people are full of them, some have maybe less. I don't know, but we all have them. But those kinds of cords that I have now with the little baby, with the little boy, I see that as a pink little thread with glitter, and it's there with him, and I'm connected through that pink little thread, and I can talk to him if I want to. Same with my father or with my friend who passed. I have this pink little threads who are connected to them, and I have that connection with them. I know they are there to support me, and they are not healing me, but it works in a healing way. I am healing myself because I allow this. because I'm open to this. But
It's
for me, it
a
works.
spiritual connection that
Yes,
is invisible, but it's there.
it's there.
And we know that.
Yes, and you
We
know
know.
how, I have, it's really weird what I'm going to say now, but my father sometimes, so when he passed, a little bit after that, I was, because I was in this relationship for the 6 years then, and a bit after, I was in one of the rooms, because it was a big house, and the light started flickering. And I knew it was my father, and I said, Dad, come on. I said, okay, I know you're here. You want company? No problem. Let's talk. And a little bit after that, boom, it stopped. And he did that a couple of times in different rooms, like bing, 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 bing with the lights. And then I said, okay, Dad, you're here. Come on, sit down with me. Let's let's have a conversation. And every time it stopped. And then at a certain moment, I lived in a trailer. You know what he would do there? You on the windows, because it was very small trailer. You have like this for the sun. You can pull it down. The sunshades. And he would pull them
Oh,
up, and I would pull them down. Broots up. And I said, come on, Broots up again. And I said, okay, you want to talk? Okay, let's talk. Descend, let's talk. And he would draw my attention to lights or to I don't know what. And when I was open to receiving him, it would be there
would
and
stop, yeah.
would talk to him. That's my connection to my daddy. There's nothing to be afraid of for that kinds of things happening. It's souls who want your attention, who want to communicate with you. There's nothing bad. And
More,
me.
it's more to say, I'm here, I'm with you, I'm
Yes.
here to support you.
Yes, and for me it was like that, and yeah, I'm happy. I'm open to it because for me it works. It really works. That kind of
Oh, yes.
healing tool.
If that wasn't your dad, you would fear, you would be uncomfortable. So,
Yeah, no,
oh,
for
definitely. Because
I
if,
don't
if,
know because I know ha I don't know why or how, but I know if things like that happen, and for me in my soul it's somebody out there, I don't know who, a good one that's trying to tell me something. I never was afraid of such things ever. I don't know why. It's but I do
well,
understand that other
yes,
people are afraid because sometimes it's maybe not a good connection. I don't know. And I think you can feel that when something is off,
oh,
things
yeah,
are moving, or you can feel that, ooh, something is, you feel it in your body tells you. Your body is
absolutely, that's
constantly
what it is.
speaking to you.
It's the energetic field that
Yeah,
instills fear in you because it's the negative. I've
yes,
experienced that many times when I was a
yes.
child, and
And you
God
can feel
forbid,
it, that it's off.
immediately,
Yes,
immediately. If it's a positive soul that is coming your area, your energetic field, you feel
yes.
okay.
You feel it,
You
yes, right.
recognize, and yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
that is another topic altogether. Let's go back to to your experience.
for for the people watching, maybe there's women watching who went through the same, even if it's 50 years ago, even if it's done with the nuns or the whatever, you still did the abortion. For any aborted women, how I also talk and think about it, because I think much women are feeling guilt and grief and shame. This is also statistics. Statistics show that 90% of women feel guilt, 85 shame, and 85 grief. Only on the record, so imagine beyond the record. It is very hard to deal with. So what I think then, if you think, oh, I'm a murderer, I'm a monster, I'm this and that, what helps me personally is that, okay, this baby up there made a soul contract to come here in your womb for a very short period of time and go up again. He made the contract. If that is how I yeah, also have peace with it. And then second, you are not a murderer. You are not a monster. You are not all those things you put on your own back that you are. You're not. You're just a woman that is in a situation and you're trying to make the best out of the situation because the situation is heavy on itself already. It is heartbreaking for a woman, and it's not always, you don't know what to do, so you are doing at that time the best you can with what you have. And no, it is always what you decide for you at that moment is the best solution. Some women decide to carry, some decide to not to carry. It's all good. Don't feel guilty. I know you're gonna feel guilty, but you have to release that guilt, because guilt is a very low vibration and it will keep you down, and you can't stay down, you have to go up. So yeah.
So what steps do you reckon a person who went through that and wants to get a closure? Certainly, whatever you're going to say now, it doesn't apply to everyone.
No,
you
that's
know,
true.
but there is always that person who could say, yes, I'm going to try this, and
Yes,
it works.
that's true. It's not for that is not for everyone. What I'm saying is for high spiritual people, I know. But I also looked up in the statistics that I don't remember this number. I think it's 65% or more. Those things that I say, even the ritual with the candle and stuff, this is applied with social workers and social services. They teach you that. So that and the writing, the journaling, and the talking. Those are three things that you will see in many, many places you can do. You don't have to be spiritual to do that. I just want to say that I am a spirit. I got spiritual over the years, but I want every woman that has that problem to understand that you don't have to be spiritual to listen to that podcast and to take in stuff. So I'm spiritual, but if you're not, that doesn't matter. You can also, I don't want people to think, women who are in distress now, oh, that's not for me because I don't do spiritual stuff. It doesn't matter, because you have the same, you carry something, you have this problem. Don't feel left out because you don't practice spirituality. It doesn't matter. It's for every woman out there. Whether you believe in nothing, you believe in everything, you are Muslim, you are Jehovah Witness, whatever your belief is, even if you believe in only the trees or the table or I don't know what, or you worship the lamp, it doesn't matter. It's for all women out there, and that's my message. That it lands with every woman who has this problem. Not only, that's only me being spiritual. I know not everyone is, but that's very important to know also.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up now. Thank you very much, Annick, from the bottom of my heart. This took so much courage, and I know our listeners feel it. If this episode moved you, please share it, because somewhere out there is a woman who needs to hear exactly this. We will be back next week with a different story. Right, so we wanted to extend this to the public. So what I want to say here is, if you have a story that could help someone,
Yes.
we would love to hear it.
Yes.
This is Unfiltered and Raw. We believe that every real story has the power to change a life.
Yes.
Your voice matters. By sharing your journey, you could give hope to someone who feels alone, misunderstood, or believes there is no way forward. This is a safe space for honest conversations, no masks, no judgment, just real people sharing real experiences. So now we got at the end of this episode. As we always saying at the end of the episode, we both went through our own personal healing. We tried so many methods, but I think the best healing methods was writing. Annick, I know you wrote your book. Do you want to show your book?
Start over. Turn any loss into a sensational comeback. Volume 9. On Amazon. Also Kindle version.
On Amazon. And here there are my 2 books. Anyone interested can just pause the video to see the title, and this can be found on Amazon as well. So until next time, take care everyone.
Bye everyone.
Much love.
Io